Hey guys, welcome back to Teal Homestead. It has been about a month since I have uploaded my last video, and I'm so sorry about that. Life has really gotten very busy this last month. First of all, if I sound congested, it is because I am getting over my second bout of COVID, so that is nice and fun. But I've had that for the last almost 2 weeks now. And I think I'm getting over it finally. It was probably 50% as bad as the first time I had it, so that is good. But also, there is just a lot that we need to talk about. We got a kitten. I know if you guys have been on live streams with us before, we have talked about getting a kitten in the future. I know I keep saying we're not getting any more animals, but somehow they keep finding their home here, and I'm actually fine with that. So Mirin is our new kitten. I would say she's more of a medium to long-haired mixed breed, but she is all white except for a little patch on her head, which is gray, and she has gorgeous blue eyes. And we love her so much. We actually got her from a friend that also breeds silver fox rabbits down in Kentucky, so Jameson and I made the journey to Kentucky to get her, and she is just such a joy to have. So we love Mirin. She is so cute. She's so fun. She likes to cuddle our German Shepherd mix Aria, and Aria loves it 50% of the time, but also is very disciplinary the other 50% of the time because Mirin likes to go after everything right now. So she's constantly trying to bite Ari's tail and Ari's ears, and same with Ronan, but Ronan tends to kind of stay away from her a little bit more, but she is so cute. We love her. She's also going to be very useful to bring out, hopefully, into the garage and into our backyard this spring and summer to hopefully help with vermin control. Hopefully. I know some cats are really finicky and don't do that kind of thing. I'm really hoping that we can train her young to do that kind of thing, because that would be really cool and helpful. Also, you guys might have noticed that I finally got my hair balayaged again. I am very happy about it. Usually my hair is all brown, but I finally got this balayage put in again, and this is what it looked like 2 years ago before I cut it all off. And I've missed it ever since then, so I'm just trying to get it back to where it was like 2 years ago. My profile picture hasn't changed in the last like 2-3 years, so it's fine. I'm finally starting to look like my profile picture, so that's nice. I really want to talk to you guys about the Rabbitry, but before we talk about that, I actually want to talk to you about a brand of waterproof boot called Hysia. Hysia makes waterproof boots and waders and shoes, all that kind of thing. I looked on their website after they reached out to me because I wanted to make sure that the products looked like something that I would actually enjoy, and I said yes because I really needed a new pair of boots. So they quickly sent me a pair of boots in the mail, and honestly, you guys, I am so happy with them. I 100% recommend them if you need a pair of waterproof boots. I know that a lot of people use those rubber boots that are just all rubber and they can kind of chafe your ankle a little bit and rub it raw. I have found with these boots that they don't do that at all on me, and they're just so comfortable, so I really do recommend them. They're super warm too. I got the winter boots, and they feel like they're hugging my legs in such a good way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but they are very warm on the inside, but they're also really breathable, so I don't feel like my legs are sweating like crazy. I typically wear a size 7.5. Sometimes I can go down to a 7. I decided to take the risk and get a 7 because I hate shoes that are too big, and these actually fit me perfectly. So I would say that they do run true to size, at least in my experience. One thing that I noticed about the boots very first off when I opened them is that they did have a couple of stains on them already. I don't really know what this is. It doesn't super bother me because obviously these boots aren't really meant for fashion. They're kind of meant for more of a utility purpose. So I'm not super upset about it. It's just something that I noticed right out of the box. The packaging was pretty simple. I mean, it's just a box and you open it and there's the boots. Mirin really did appreciate the box though, so she says A+ on the box. Hysia. We have found that getting a kitten is that one of their favorite things really is boxes. Like, you can buy them toys, but they still just want the box. Anyway, back to the boots. So one of the main reasons why I said I wanted a new pair of boots is because, like I said, I actually really needed a new pair of boots. Before, I was using a pair of Danners. Now, Danner is one of the most expensive brands of boots that I have found for hiking and things like that. A couple of years ago, Jameson and I went to Banff in Canada, and before we went there, I made sure to order a really nice pair of hiking / waterproof boots because I knew that we were going to be hiking a lot. And Danners really did get the job done. They are amazing. But as you can see over the years, they have deteriorated. They have definitely seen better days. So it's goodbye to the Danners, I'm sorry. They're no longer waterproof because of how torn up they are. So that is definitely a problem for me, considering how muddy our yard has gotten over the last couple of years, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. So I really was looking for more of a waterproof, rain, mud-proof type of boot to wear around my yard because I am sick of having wet socks, to be totally honest with you, and these Hycia boots, not only are they less than half the cost of the Danner boots, but they are really comfortable. Every time somebody comes to me and asks for some sort of brand deal or product review, I always make sure to ask them, can I be completely honest with my audience? Typically they say yes. So when I say that I really like these boots, you can trust me, guys. I actually really do like them. I think they're really nice. So if you're looking for a pair of boots that are waterproof and very comfortable, and not rubber on the top, and just kind of are flexible, they're just amazing to me, so I definitely would recommend them. If you are interested in getting your own pair of Hycia boots, the link is in the description down below. They gave me 2 Amazon links, so you can check that out. I believe those links are valid until February 11th, I believe. So I would definitely go check them out if you are needing a new pair of waterproof boots. Just good utility boots to work outside in, and yeah, love them. Now before we go into the Rabbitry and really check out what I have done in there, we have to check out something a little bit more sad. Here is the hutch. It is completely empty and also a total disaster all the way around it, so sorry about that. I swear that I'm not keeping this out here to look like this. I will fix it. So as you can see, everybody is gone. We'll need to clean this up in the spring. I'm not about to chip out pea sickles right now, but it is completely empty. Even the bucks, they're all gone. Even the grow out pens have moved. So yeah, really need to get these nest boxes picked up. I know that you guys haven't seen the garden in a while, so I'll just show this to you right now too. But here is our garden. We keep throwing manure on top of it, and our chickens are doing a wonderful job at spreading it around. We love those chickens. So why did I move the rabbits to the inside? Let's talk about that very first off. So the reason is not because I don't think that rabbits can handle cold weather. At least here in Indiana, I have had rabbits outside for many years in my childhood as well as my adulthood. So I 100% still think that rabbits are fine even in 0-degree weather outside, as long as you keep them dry, out of the wind, out of the elements, all of that. So I didn't move them in because I was worried about them being too cold. But I will say them being inside now really takes the pressure and worry off of me. So that is just something that kind of eases my stress and not really having to worry about them too much. So that is very nice. Another reason why I decided to move my rabbits into the garage is because you guys know I show my rabbits a lot. So I remember making a video last year when I was going to a show and there was like 2 feet of snow on the ground. That's really not an exaggeration. And I had to carry my rabbits one by one from way out there all the way into the house. And that's not fun. It's not fun having to trudge through snow that far away every single day, especially when it is that cold outside to where the water's freezing really quickly, and I have to water them like 3 times a day and bust ice out 3 times a day, and it gets to be overwhelming very quickly. And it leads me to my third point, actually, is that the volume of rabbits that I have is going beyond almost a small scale breeder at this point. I want to be able to have the convenience and make sure that my rabbits are healthy and out of the elements as much as possible, because I am really invested in the quality of the rabbits that I'm producing. So it became more of a small homestead hobby to more of a, like, I want to do this more seriously type of thing. So that's another reason why the volume of rabbits that I was taking care of, especially when water was freezing and stuff like that, it's so much stress trying to bust out at least minimum 14 bowls of water like 2 to 3 times a day, just busting out solid ice and trying to water them like that. It's just crazy. So putting them in the garage has been super helpful because the garage is semi-insulated. And so even when it's in the single digits out, their water gets a little bit of ice on it, but I have never had it freeze solid in there so far. And it has been such a game changer for me because now I can actually spend time evaluating rabbits, taking pictures of rabbits, really spending time with them rather than just trying to meet their basic needs. And you guys know that I'm a breeder that always wants to do what's best for my rabbits. I never want to have more, I always say I never want to have more rabbits than I'm able to properly care for. And I gotta say, when they were out there, getting to the point where there were so many of them, it was getting overwhelming to the point where I felt like I wasn't being able to care for them as much as I wanted to. I've just been tirelessly working on trying to get them set up in the garage, and I actually really love it. I will say though, it's not as stylish yet as the Teal stone hutch. I love my hutch. My hutch is amazing. If you guys want to follow the plans for it, I will put that up there. There's a whole video on it, a blog post. It is a nice video if you want to do more of a hutch like that. I love that hutch so much, and I am sad seeing it empty, so I definitely recommend it. Unless you're getting to the scale where I was getting, then I would definitely recommend you need a bunny shed at that point. In my next property, I've told you guys over and over again, I'm gonna have a designated Rabbitry barn, and I'm so excited for it. It's definitely going to happen in the future, 100%. It just happened to be at the point where I was taking care of the rabbits that I had put in the garage for show purposes, and suddenly I was just like, why am I not putting everybody in there? Because we found out that it is possible. So, and I actually, weirdly enough, have room for expansion now that they're in there, which is crazy to me. But we're working on the fashion part of it. We gotta have a pretty rabbitry. So guys, now when you very first open the door to the garage, you see this. You see a bunch of rabbit cages. Well, you guys, this is the Rabbitry now. As you can see, we have utilized PVC pipes as the cage holders, and this has actually been so genius and so like cheap to actually do. I've never loved the way PVC looks with some of the builds that you might see on Pinterest, but I actually don't mind this at all because I did mine as just side braces. I know some people do like all the way across and all of that. I was trying to figure out how to do that without making the cages or the PVC pipes like sag, and it turns out you really just need side braces. So I'm actually really happy about this. Same with this triple stacked one over here actually. We just did side braces and just put those together. What we did with these 30 by 30 cages is we just utilized a bunch of zip ties. So you can hardly see it. I think there's one right here. But we just zip tied the cages together. And we are just keeping does next to does and bucks next to bucks right now because I know that sometimes we hear anomaly cases where bucks do breed does through the wire somehow. I don't want that happening, so we're just keeping does with does and bucks with bucks, which is what I normally do anyway because I don't like bucks spraying, and it seems like when they're housed next to does, they like to spray. So for the most part, the does tend to get along. I'm not super worried about anybody injuring anybody else. My rabbits are typically pretty chill. But if we do have a difficult case, all you really need to do is go buy flashing at Lowe's and just zip tie that onto the inside of the cage, and then they won't be able to see each other. Problem solved. We have trays again. I know a while back I mentioned that I hate trays and I didn't want to be working with them anymore, but that was also when I didn't have a lot of space between the cage and the tray. I made sure when I put these PVC frames together that it would give me a ton of space between the cage and the tray, so there's no issue in pulling it out. It's very stable, so I'm actually not minding it at all. And now that we are utilizing trays again, we're utilizing a lot more rabbit poop again, which is great because I told you guys that this year was the year of the garden. So we are going to be using a lot of that manure. The ones on the bottom are really far below. I don't mind that they're on the ground. I actually think it works out really well. Also, you can see that we have plastic all over the place. That was a big project, but it actually is all the way up the walls. Not all the way, but almost all the way up the walls, just to avoid spraying or urine, because I really don't want this room to develop a bad odor because of urine soaking into the concrete. That's been one of my #1 concerns. So I've just been really proactive in the plastic. It's everywhere. So far so good with the plastic. Some of the rabbits have taken it upon themselves to try and chew it. So that's no good, but they can't really get it in strips or anything, so I'm not too concerned about it. I use these 5-gallon jugs to fill with water every time we water the rabbits. We go through about a little less than 5 gallons a day with the rabbits. And then this is our hay holder type contraption. And also, one of the perks about being indoors is that we're actually going through a lot less hay now because I don't have to use it as bedding, really, because the rabbits are nice and warm being in here, so don't really have to worry about using hay as bedding anymore. It's mainly just for eating, so we are definitely saving on the hay, which is really nice. Another one of the perks of having the rabbits in the garage is the fact that I can now look them over without freezing. Because before I was having to wait until the weather wasn't super bad so I could sit outside and evaluate my babies, but now I can evaluate them in here. I actually just spent 2 hours doing it yesterday and it was like 30 degrees outside. And yes, it is a little bit chilly in here, but there's no wind, there's no snow, there's no rain, and it's actually quite pleasant, and also I can plug my phone in, which is super nice. And of course I had to incorporate my LED lights in here, so my LEDs are all over the ceiling and it just gives it such a nice appearance. I'm really happy with how those look up there. You guys know from watching me, I'm sure by now, that I cannot have any form of animal housing not have cool lights in it. I mean, those lights, they're necessary. They are 100% necessary, so if you need help convincing yourself to put LEDs up in your rabbitry, this is me telling you that you have to do it, like it's a requirement. Another thing that's really nice about having the rabbits indoors is that it makes checking nest box babies so much easier and more enjoyable. Outside, I never really enjoy checking on babies because I typically have to take my gloves off so I can really get my hands in there and not get fur all over my gloves and whatnot. So my fingers are typically ice cubes outside, but in here, it's been really nice. I haven't had that problem, so very grateful for that for sure. Well guys, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed taking a bit of a tour throughout my new rabbit shed in the garage. I'm just really happy that we were able to use the space in a way that makes sense to what we do, and I am excited to show you guys kind of the journey of how we're gonna hopefully make this work. I think that we're going to make it work long term, and I really like it. I just think that it makes the rabbits so much more accessible to us and me, and being able to just really properly take care of them at the volume that I have. Like I said before though, there's nothing wrong with having your rabbits housed outdoors as long as you can keep them dry, out of the wind, out of the elements. I think that all of those things are important when keeping rabbits outdoors, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I actually still have a couple of tractors out here. I have a bunch of grow outs in one of them, so there's nothing wrong with keeping rabbits outdoors. But at the volume that I have my rabbits, it just makes sense for me to move them indoors. Maybe we will triple stack the big doe cages eventually. Maybe. Also, if you are interested in getting your own pair of Hycia boots, which I love, the links are in the description down below. They are on Amazon, and you can use either of those links. I think both of the links have like different products, so you can use those links and get something that you like for a discount. But that is going to do it, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, because I'm sure the YouTube algorithm does not like me because I took a month off. So comment down below, I would greatly appreciate it. Hit the bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video, which will hopefully be sooner than the break that I just took. So anyway, bye guys.